Alrighty then. Micro mods, mini mods, stealth mods, whatever you want to call them. A lot of manufacturers are making them right now, and they're getting more and more popular. They have their purpose in the market. Today we're going to be looking at yet another one, and it might quite possibly be the best one I've used to date. We're going to be taking a look at the Joyetech Evic Basic. Check it out. Alrighty then, YouTube, welcome back. Thanks for swinging by for another one of my reviews. Today we're taking a look at yet another micro mini stealth mod, the Joyetech Evic Basic. I'll go ahead and have some of the information posted up to the side here when we do the up and close, and I'll go ahead and post links down below directly to the manufacturer and as to where I bought this. Just on a little side note, or a couple side notes actually. First of all, I'm trying to do something different with the microphone. So if things don't totally work out here, sorry about that. If the voice or the audio rather in the video get out of sync, that would be why. I'm trying something with Audacity, and I want to see if I can get away with doing some recording or removing a bunch of background hiss and noise without having to buy a new microphone. And we'll see how that goes, or if it doesn't. Anyway, on a second note, the manufacturer, or rather the retailer that I bought this from, was Vapesourcing. And I actually received the item quite a while ago, and it just didn't work. Fresh out of the box, the thing was glitched out. It didn't work. I contacted Vapesourcing within 12 hours of me contacting them. They got back to me and immediately made the problem right. The only thing they asked me to do was, hey, record a YouTube video, show us exactly what it's doing. And basically, the device was firing itself as soon as I put an atomizer on there, and they said, yep, it's all screwed up. They went ahead and contacted Joyetech directly on my behalf and had another one sent out to me absolutely free of charge. Wow. They didn't even ask me to send the other one back. They just said, here, my bad, here's your new device. So cool. Kudos on them. That's some of the best customer service that I've had. Like I said, the only thing they asked me to do is record a video for them and provide the serial number for the original device. So sweet. That's actually really, really good customer service on their part. And yeah, I just want to give them a big shout out because they really went above and beyond there. Anyway, not here to specifically talk about that, and I will provide a link below down to Vapesourcing's website. We're here to talk about the mod itself. This is the Joyetech Evic Basic. When we go in the up and close, I'll do some size comparisons with the VTC Mini, the eLeaf iPower Nano, or the iPower Nano Box, whatever the hell it's called now. iStick Nano, I think, is what they're officially going with it. And, give you some features and whatnot. But just long story short, if you've ever used any of the VTC products, this is more of the same. It's pretty much identical. The big differences are the location of the plus and minus buttons, and the firing button's a bit different. And, of course, it's a little squatty guy. Yeah, when they initially released this, it was labeled as a 40-watt device with a built-in 1500 milliamp hour battery. Changed up a couple of things by putting the up and down buttons on the bottom. Really not much you could do other than that. Shrunk down the firing button a little bit, and yeah, it is a teeny tiny device. Right now I've got it paired up with the Goblin V3 Mini, or Goblin Mini V3 rather. And yeah, it's a good combination, and it's just working. It's doing the business. Hey, good stuff, good stuff. So what is it? Standard, run-of-the-mill these days. Variable wattage, variable temperature device. It will handle up to 60 watts. 0 to 60 watts. It will go up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit in temperature control mode. Handles nickel, titanium, stainless steel, and 3 TCR modes of your choice. Does centigrade. Yeah, it's a VTC Mini in a shorter package with a built-in battery. It's got a 1500 milliamp hour battery. That's one of the compelling things about this compared to the other mini mods on the market. This has just about the highest battery capacity, other than a couple things like the Wotofo Serpent box mod, which has 2000 milliamp hours, but is noticeably fatter, and the Snow Wolf 80 watt Mini Plus, which handles 80 watts, but again, it has 3,000 milliamp hours of battery life, but it's about that tall and about that wide, noticeably bigger. For the size, for as teeny-tiny as this thing is, this is about it. I mean, up here in FaceTime, I'm not going to have a whole lot to show you. It's all going to be down in the business end when we go down and low. And I'm going to show you comparisons with a couple other mods and devices. And then we'll come back up, and I'll go ahead and give you my thoughts and as to whether or not I would recommend that you pick up one of these. And a lot of that is pretty subjective, but yeah, just as a teaser here, yeah, I'm really digging this. This is by far my favorite mini mod. Really not a whole lot else to say at this point, so why don't we go ahead and dive down. We'll take a look at it, we'll do an unboxing, show you what comes with it, and we'll do some size comparisons. Then we'll jump back up and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, see you down there in just a second. Alrighty then, welcome back, and here we are. We are here to take a look at this little guy, the Joyetech Evic Basic. It's just their latest follow-up, or one of their latest follow-ups rather, into their VTC line of products, you know, the variable temperature control and whatnot. And yeah, it's a little guy. It's a little small guy. I'm going to have some specs for you over here on this side of the screen, or you know, this side, whichever I put it on. I think it's going to be over on this side. Looks like I've got more room over there. And you know, just a little bit of a disclaimer there. I'm going to be taking a look at my phone to get some specs and whatnot on this. Yeah, but what we got here is just a little teeny tiny guy. Height-wise, 55 millimeters. Depth-wise, 32 millimeters. And width-wise, got 22 millimeters. So yeah, this will fit all your 22 millimeter atomizers flush along these three sides here. But just a little caveat there, this is a standard Joyetech 510 device, or a 510 connector. So some of the devices that you screw on there might have a little bit of a gap right there. In fact, here, let me just show you without really cranking down the Goblin Mini. You can see that there's a little bit of gappage right there. If you really crank down on it, then you can make that go away, and it'll probably be perfectly fine. But, I mean, it's barely noticeable, and I'm perfectly good with that, to be honest with you. That is perfect, or standard Joyetech /eLeaf /iSmoke affair, though. That is just something that you're going to get with any, or most, Joyetech and eLeaf products. I don't know why they choose these 510 connectors that they use, but they do. And that is my one gripe about this. It comes in a multitude of colors. Got black as you see it here, kind of a grayish silver, blue, orange, red. This particular finish, the smoother one, came as a 40 watt device. It's upgradable with the newest firmware to 4.14, which I have it upgraded to. That takes the functionality up to 60 watts handling. It is also now released in their wrinkle finish. Basically, it's just a kind of a rubberized paint finish with some texture on the side of it, and that comes out of the box with the 4.14 upgrade and is also 60 watts. Other than that, identical to this. Yeah, not a whole lot. It's got the standardized Joyetech VTC screen. The VT, VTC Mini, VT Duo, all the stuff in this line uses the same screen, and it eats up most of what you see on the real estate on the front end of this. And what do we got here? Got the firing button right there, and it's complaining that I don't have an atomizer. Your micro USB port right at the bottom so that you can plug this in and set it up right for charging. Up and down button, or up and down rather, buttons on the bottom of the device, but they're recessed a little bit so when you set it down, you're not going to impact them. You got your 510 connector up at the top, and it does have the air slots, and has one up at the front of the device as well. Other than that, the only thing that you've got at the bottom is a couple of holes for air venting, and a little tiny hole down here for a paper clip for resetting the device. And that is it. Standard recycling and blah 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 symbols, and that's all. Aesthetically, that's all you get. One of the new features that is available on this versus the original VTC Mini is what you see on the front, the RTC, real-time clock. Not sure how valuable of a feature that is, but it's there. Anyway, so let's do a little bit of an unboxing here. Let me move that off to the side. And there's the box. Standard Joyetech fare, Joyetech VT upgradable firmware. See that right there? Comes with firmware 4.02, but like I said, as of the recording of this video, 4.14 is the newest firmware, and yeah, works perfectly fine. Standard Joyetech upgrade fare. Top of the box, you got the logo, got Joyetech there, got the website, Evic Basic. Ready to solve that. And on the back, you got all this information, tells you what color you've got, serial number, that, and blah blah blah. Inside of the box, standard Joyetech fare, you got your little foam dealie there. Got your user's guide, fairly all-inclusive. Warranty card. Got a USB cable in that guy, standard USB cable, and then an empty box to just kind of hold everything in place. And that is it. Oh, and I think we've gotten one of these boxes. Oh, there we go. On the back of the warranty card, you've got your scratch and check serial number. So, yeah. That is it. I mean, that is a standard Joyetech product. All that stuff fits in there nice and neat. Can't complain about Joyetech boxing. Good stuff, high quality boxing. Yeah, functionality though. If you've ever used a VTC Mini or anything to that effect, yeah, you know how to use this. I'm not going to get too far in depth with it. Take a look at my other review for the VTC Mini, and this is pretty much functionally identical, except for instead of the buttons being down here to manipulate everything, they're down at the bottom. 3 clicks takes you through being able to cycle through different modes. Your minus button takes you through what you're going to change. Plus button cycles through all of your different modes. Really not a whole lot to it. No longer is Flappy Birds on here. Cool, that's a good thing. I don't think games have any place on any type of vaping products. It makes it just a little bit too, I don't know, leaning towards the younger crowd, which it should not do. Yeah, I'm going to forego going through all the functions on this because, like I said, I already reviewed the VTC Mini, and sorry, the functionality of these is exactly the same. Hang on one second, let me get a beverage. Much better. Yeah, the functionality is virtually identical. So if you've used a VTC Mini or any type of a VT product, this is going to work the same way. So let's do some size comparisons. First of all, let's compare it to another mini mod. I've got my eLeaf iStick Power Nano, or iPower Nano, however you want to call it. And let's take a look at these devices from a size comparison. Depth-wise, the iStick is actually just very slightly taller in that dimension, and it's about 1 millimeter wider. This is 22 millimeters, this goes up to 23. And height-wise, they are absolutely identical. They are both 55 millimeter mods. And they match up absolutely flush. So yeah, very comparable. Weight-wise, the Joyetech product is noticeably heavier, and that makes sense. This has a 1500 milliamp hour battery, this has an 1100 milliamp hour battery. So the battery's got more lithium or whatever's inside of it to make it rechargeable. And yeah, it just feels like a more solid product. There is a minimum of button rattle, and it's on the firing button. I'm okay with that, just given what the product is, compared to something that some people might be a little bit more familiar with. VTC Mini. Looking at it from the top, the VTC Mini is longer in this dimension, but width-wise, they are both exactly 22 millimeters, just a little shorter that way. And looking at them edge-on, noticeably shorter height-wise. Yeah, not a whole lot else here. I mean, the button placement has been changed up, obviously to accommodate the height, and it's got that same janky 510 pin up at the top. yeah, not a whole lot else to look at up here, or down here rather, folks. So yeah, we're going to go right back up top and we're going to vape on it, talk about it, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, I'll see you back up there in a minute. Alrighty, welcome back. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Joyetech Evic Basic. It is yet another micro mod, mini mod, stealth mod, handheld mod, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people equate these to being a starter kit. I don't think so. I mean, it's still a very, very advanced device. It's no less advanced than the VTC Mini or anything along those lines, anything in that product line. The only thing that differentiates it from the VTC Mini is the size, battery capacity. That's it. And the fact that it doesn't have a removable battery like the VTC Mini does. So what do I think about it? Insofar as mini mods go, you'd be hard-pressed to beat this. Why? Because it has 60 watts power handling. To my knowledge, the only mini mod that beats this is the Snow Wolf Mini 80 watt TC. And again, that's a device that's about that much taller, about that much wider, and has substantially more battery life, but it's also noticeably larger and heavier. If you're looking for something teeny-tiny, this is probably about as good as it's going to get for the time being, until someone else comes out with the next big thing. It handles 60 watts. It has 1500 milliamp hours battery life. Among the mini mods, that's it, other than, like I said, the Snow Wolf Mini 80 watt and Wotofo's Serpent box, which, again, is a big, chunky, fat guy. These mini mods don't get battery life for nothing. You got to give up something. If you want a lot of battery life in a mini mod, you're going to give up some of the size and portability. If you want the size and portability, you're going to limit yourself to about 1500 milliamp hours, because that's about as much of a battery as you're ever going to fit in one of these. To that end, how does it perform? The 1500 milliamp hour battery life, I'll buy that. It lasts about maybe half, again, as long as this 1100 milliamp hour battery under the same conditions. And yeah, that makes sense. 1100 milliamp hours to 1500 milliamp hours. You're looking at about a 35% difference. And I vape slightly different tanks on these, so it's not going to be a one-to-one comparison. So that's good. It handles 60 watts. That's obviously a good thing. Offers the standard VTC bypass modes, the smart mode, whatever value that has. It's one of these. It's just shorter, a little thinner this way, and significantly lighter and a bit more pocket friendly. That's it. That's what you're getting out of one of these. Pros and cons. Let's go ahead and start with cons. One, the buttons are on the bottom. That is a bit of a pain to get to. But once you get this device configured and situated the way you want, you're probably not going to be fooling around with that too much. Most people, they put a tank that they want on a particular mod, and they get it set up the way that they want at a certain wattage temperature range, and they just vape at that point. That's what I do anyway. And once you do that, that firing button is the only thing you got to worry about. So that's not a big con for me. Biggest con I have is that gappage right around that 510 pin. And yeah, there you go. You can see it right there. It's not awful. The tank sits on there nice and flush, and I'm sure if I crank this down, that would get rid of that. That's a Joyetech thing, though. That is what it is. Joyetech just does that with their products. I don't know why they use these chintzy little 510 connectors. Other than that, the battery. It's non-removable, non-replaceable. That's a pro and a con. It's a con in that you can't just carry around a spare battery, pop it in there like the Aspire mil spec. You can carry an extra 18350 and basically double your battery life just by swapping it out. It's a pro in that it keeps the device small. You don't need to make extra room for a battery cradle, a battery door, all of that stuff. You can make the device smaller by not accommodating all those extra pieces and parts. So that's kind of a give and take. It is what it is with this thing. Pros. For a very small 55 millimeter tall lightweight mod, this thing is really powerful. 60 watts power capability. I mean, it's for a mini mod, it's untouched at this point. And it just performs, and it's a Joyetech product. The temperature control is pretty well on spot. Runs a little high, but all Joyetech products do. It just works. I mean, it's just a solid product. And again, I had one out of the box that was defective. That was one of my first Joyetech products that was ever defective out of the box. And again, kudos to Vapesourcing. They were a great retailer. They bent over backwards to make it work for me, and they got me a new one absolutely at no cost to me. So yeah, can I recommend this thing? Absolutely, and I can recommend Vapesourcing as well. Their prices were very competitive, and I'm not getting any kickbacks from them. I'm just giving you my hands-on personal experience as a consumer who purchased a product from them. Their customer support is really, really good, particularly from a Chinese vendor. So yeah, I can absolutely recommend this product, and I can recommend them as a vendor. Not a whole lot else to say here. It's a miniature VTC Mini. That's basically what this boils down to, and that's what a lot of people, myself included, have been looking forward to. I mean, I like mini mods. I like stuff that fits in my pocket. And this still has its purpose. I mean, I like this because it has the stainless steel brushed finish. I put it in my pocket at work, and it gets banged up, and you can see a couple of scuffs and whatnot on it. And it handles it well because it's stainless steel. I'm not going to take this to work just because that paint's going to get all scratched up and dinged up. And I don't want to do that to this. This is something I use mainly at home. And I use it with my Goblin Mini V3. And yeah, great combination. I mean, the vapor's great out of this, but of course that's all on this part of the kit. Very little to do with that part. Yeah, not a whole lot else there. So I'll go ahead and leave you with that and just say, hey, support our right to vape, support advocacy. I'm going to post some links down below, not to get too much of on a soapbox here at the end of this video. Support Rip Tripper's campaign that he started with Generosity. And yeah, get some information out there. All that information will be below, and you can go ahead and read that to your heart's content. I'm not asking you guys to do anything that I haven't done already. Contribute to vaping advocacy. If you can afford to buy one of these, if you can afford to buy some juice, $5, $10 bottle of juice, you can afford to donate $5 to advocacy. Anyway, enough on that. All that information will be below. Reader's Digest version. Yep, I can recommend it. Great little mini mod, maybe one of the best ones out there. There's a couple of mods that have more battery life. I mentioned them already, but they're bigger. And the Snow Wolf Mini is absolutely a more capable mod, feature-wise, but again, it's bigger, heavier. For size and power, this is where it's at. Anyway, that's enough about that. Thanks for swinging by. Thanks for watching. Vape on, vape safe. I'll see you at the next one.